Right guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm just going to be showing you how to upgrade your rear disc from a 140 to 160mm if you're running the flat mount calipers on the rear. So let's go ahead, let's run through the steps. Right, so here we have a flat mount caliper. This just happens to be a Dura-Race one, but this applies to 105 or the Tiagra or even the Ultegra or the GRX calipers, as long as they're the flat mount style like this. And this is to upgrade to 160mm rear disc. A lot of bikes come with a 140 on the back, so you may want to upgrade to 160 for a bit of extra stopping performance, say, and you're just wondering how to do it. Now, what you need to do is get yourself the kit for the rear, compromises, the bracket, bolts, washers and a clip. I'll just get that out of the packet just to show you. Right, so the first step in converting the brake is obviously to remove your rear wheel from the bike, because you need to change your disc over later on to 160mm. And then what you need to do on the flat mount caliper, as you can see, this is just set up for 140mm straight to the frame like that. Now what you're looking for is just there's just a little safety clip in there, so you need to remove that first. So just pull that clip out like so, and then using a 4mm hex head Allen key is just undo the bolts that are holding the caliper to your frame. So 4mm, and then they're underneath in there, so you can look underneath and then undo those. You may need to just hold the caliper while you're undoing them. Obviously the caliper goes slack like that, so just hold it in place. Right, so once you remove the two mounting bolts, then your caliper will just be floating like that. So what you need to do then is, in the kit there's a bracket like so. Now what you need to do with this is, this is going to go onto the caliper first, so you also get a couple of mounting bolts as well like that, some stubby ones, and the bracket. So what you need to do, this bracket, it says outside on it there like that, so what it does is the writing goes upside down, so you can't see the writing, so the arrow is facing outwards, so it goes down like that. So effectively the thicker edge is here for the bracket and the thinner edge is there. As you can see, it's wedge shape, so go down like that. First of all, you need to bolt this to the caliper with the supplied bolts. So what we'll do is, it's got some big holes in it, two big holes like you can see, and that's for the bolts to go through like that into the caliper. So what I'll do before I put these in is just I'll put a bit of anti-seize on the thread of them before we go ahead and wind those in. So we've got the bracket in place just loosely. Now as you can see, the bolts there go into the two holes, the threaded holes, where you just removed your two mounting bolts from the frame. So they just go into there and screw into the bottom of the caliper. So what we're going to do is do them up, just pinch one up before we do them up tight. So we just pinch that one loosely, and then we'll do the other one up before we actually tighten them fully. So we just torque those up. We said 6 to 8 Newton meters on those. So that's the bracket mounted onto the caliper. So then with your 2 bolts that you took out earlier to have there, what you want to do with these is, in the kit you get 2 washers, silver washers like that. So what you want to do is put one of those, doesn't matter which way they go up, is one on that bolt and one on the other one, like that. And again, what I'll do is just put a little bit of anti-seize on the thread of each bolt before I put it in, and then we just sit the caliper onto the frame like that, then put your bolts up with your washers on through your frame, get it lined up. Just start one at a time. Put some anti-seize on this one, then I'll start that one. So make sure you got them started and they're not cross-threaded or anything before you go ahead and start tightening them up. And then what I'll do, I'll tighten these down again, 4mm hex head on those. So what we've done is we just got the bolts wound in. At the moment they're not fully tightened because you need to refit your wheel and then centralize the disc up before you tighten them fully. So what we'll do now is the clip that you removed earlier, the little safety pin there, put it back in the hole where it came from. Now you've got the bracket on there, so it just goes back in there. Just push that in place like that. So now we'll go ahead, we'll get the wheel fitted back in. Right, so now we've got the wheel back in, obviously with your 160mm rotor put on. Obviously if you've got centre lock or 6 bolt, whichever, you need to fit that to your wheel. So you put that back in. Now before we go ahead and tighten these up fully, what you want to do is just spin your wheel and then hold on your brake as though you're braking, and then once you've got it held on, whilst you're holding it on, do up the bolts, snug them down so they're tight, and then we can torque them up afterwards, and then let go of your brake, spin your wheel again and see if it's making a noise, if the disc is rubbing. If it is, just repeat the process, slacken the bolts off, then hold the brake on and just repeat it again, just to centralise the disc with the caliper. Right, so once you've got your disc centralised with your caliper, then what you can do is go ahead and torque up the mounting bolts. So that's 6 to 8 Newton meters on those. So once you torque those up and you're happy, it's not making a noise or anything, it's not rubbing, you've tried to brake a few times, then what you need to do then is in the kit comes a little clip like that. So what you want to do is then on the end there, as you can see, bolt sticking up through enough to put the clip on. So I'll put the clip over there, just safety clip on that bolt there, and that's the last step. So that's how you convert it to the 160mm. Right, so if you found the video helpful, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more cycle related content. Till next one, ride safe and I'll see you then.